Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
The Pistons and Cavs got physical in a pivotal Game 5. Also, the Avalanche are going back to the conference finals for the first time since 2022. And does anybody actually think LeBron James will retire this year? Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com to get started.
I'm Peter Bukowski, starting your day with the can't-miss stories and biggest debates in sports. You're Locked On Sports Today.
Searching all major sports. Found.
Let's start with the biggest story.
After Donovan Mitchell exploded for 43 points to take over Game 4, the Pistons and Cavs did battle in Game 5. Locked On Pistons host Hookah Hill reacted to Detroit's response to Cleveland after losing control earlier this week.
All right. Keep it a buck with me, Chaz. Did you think they were winning tonight?
Yes, I did. And let me tell you why. Two reasons why I thought they were going to win tonight. James Harden was focused, okay? He started out the game. He was disciplined from the start. He was decisive. He knew what he wanted to do. And listen, he made a living at the free throw line tonight. Even though he didn't shoot the ball well, he attacked his matchups. He got the defensive matchups he wanted, and when he missed, he got to the free throw line. Listen, he scored his points off the clock tonight, and I just kept saying in the third quarter, if they can get the lead, because they didn't have the lead in the third quarter, and Cade Cunningham kept making sure that they didn't get the lead. But once they got that lead and Evan Mobley hit that three, I said if they can get the lead in the third quarter, the Cavs have a good chance of winning.
So let's go through that end of the third quarter run, because I feel like that was kind of when things kind of started to change for them. Just so, Mobley gets that big dunk and
left-handed dunk. Yes.
Yeah. Mitchell finally finds a groove and you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be awesome. Like they might take this one. You feel really good. And then, so you're like, okay, cool. They end the third quarter just the way you want to end that quarter.
32-20 run.
Yeah.
Pistons run. Yeah.
And then the fourth quarter starts horrible. Detroit goes on that run. Cleveland can't find a shot. Their first 6 points, I think, in the quarter were from the free throw line. They can't hit a field goal. And then Uno says, I got y'all.
Yeah, listen, Evan Mobley, let's talk about him first.
Let's do it. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait.
Listen, the box score doesn't tell everything, and I had to write it down. 17, 8, and 8. He was 2 rebounds short of a triple-double and 2 rebounds, 2 assists short of a triple-double, okay? And this is it just wasn't his offense, but he was the assist man. He was finding James Harden. He finally got Donovan Mitchell his first 3 in the third quarter and then again in overtime. And also defensively, he took Tobias Harris out of the game. And so you love the movement on defense. You love how he was facilitating on offense. And listen, a box score doesn't tell everything, but Evan Mobley was the X factor tonight, along with, we're going to talk about it later, but you heard it all the way in Cleveland from the fans. Strus!
Okay, so I'm so glad you brought up Evan Mobley, because what's the thing Evan Mobley always gets knocked for, Chaz, besides the fact people try to say he's soft? By the way, Jalen Duren has been played off the floor in this series. Paul Reed was getting the big man minutes in fourth quarter and overtime. If that tells you anything about what Evan Mobley's done this series, that's the first thing that you point out. But we always talk about, I shouldn't say we, because we're pretty big Evan Mobley people here at Locked On Cavs, not just you and I, but Danny Cunningham as well. But we were like, he can't hit threes. Hits 2 big ones tonight. Well, his free throws, he's really struggles with his free throws. Goes 5 and 6 from the line. And huge ones that tie the game.
No, he was clutch tonight. Yeah. And I said it early on when we were on the squad show with Danny. I was like, Evan Mobley just has to get Duren moving, and he has to attack Tobias Harris. So I don't know if that's something that Coach Atkinson and the Cavs really wanted to work on, but not only did Evan Mobley attack the paint and drive hard with physicality, finish strong, there was no other way. I think the commentator alluded to it. I forget who it was. J. Bill Vilas. Yeah. He was like, there's only one way you got to go in, and you got to finish strong over the top. So you love the physicality. And he had a a keen focus about him. Like he had a poker face. Like nothing affected him, and you saw it at the free throw line when he made those clutch free throws. So I love the way Evan Mobley played tonight. Like you said, he took Duren out of the game. I thought Isaiah came in and played well for the Pistons, and obviously Paul Reed. But if you would have told me no Duncan Robinson tonight, Denise Jenkins starts for the Pistons. Cade is on a tear the first 3 quarters, and the Cavs, who haven't won on the road, they were 0 for 5, is going to win this road game. But it all unraveled in the third quarter when they got the lead.
Stay up to date all year on the Detroit Pistons by subscribing to Locked On Pistons on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. You're Locked On Sports today. Coming up, the Avs are almost back in the Western Conference Finals. Before we get to that, Devon Achane just got paid. The NBA playoffs are rolling along where every possession matters, every matchup is magnified, and every game can swing a series. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a great way to get in on the action. You can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. The app makes it easy to follow the action with player stats, trends, and matchups all in one place. During the playoffs, that extra insight really matters when you're looking at stars, role players, and key moments. It just makes the entire playoff experience more engaging from start to finish. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. The Dolphins just inked a 4-year, $68 million extension with running back Devon Achane.
It's time to finally put the Devon Achane speculation to bed. Kyle Krabs, host Locked On Dolphins, and Devon Achane this evening signing a 4-year, $68 million contract extension, making him the league's 3rd highest paid running back, and the Dolphins catapulting off of the Breece Hall contract extension that happened just a few days ago. The biggest thing that stands out to me about this deal is the fact that the Dolphins got a 4-year extension done. A lot of the top running back contracts, the second contracts with the team, are 3-year contract extensions. Getting Achane on a 4-year deal and getting that opportunity to have the extra year under this current cost control is the biggest win for the Dolphins, aside of keeping their best offensive weapon in-house.
Over on the diamond, the Yankees had a tough time with the Orioles.
What a pathetic performance. I'm Brian McCann from Locked On Yankees. There's been way too many instances in the last several years where a team just looks like they have things wrapped up and don't simply care going in, and there's a complete lack of motivation. That's how Wednesday's performance of the New York Yankees looked against the Baltimore Orioles, where they get one hit from Bradish, a pitcher who has looked abysmal throughout the entire season this year. The Yankees made him look like prime Jacob deGrom. All bad on all aspects, including the starting pitcher. Max Fried only goes 3 innings. Felt soreness in his pitching elbow, is undergoing testing later on Thursday night, as all of Yankee Nation kind of clenches up a little bit and is scared for what the news could be. Max Fried seems confident what the results are going to be. Aaron Boone seems comfortable with what the results are going to be. I don't love them. Soreness, lack of velocity, lack of control and command all kind of lead to bad news usually, but we will see. We'll have reaction to that and more on Locked On Yankees.
The Braves fought with the Cubs.
The Atlanta Braves take down the Chicago Cubs 4-1 on Wednesday night to go ahead and clinch a series against MLB's #1 team in the sport. What an incredible game by this team. They once again just hang around, and then they come up with some big hits late, and that really was the story in this one. Shodi Managa for the Cubs was really, really good. But J.R. Ritchie, he battled through it. Walt Weiss was aggressive in this one, going to his high-leverage relievers, going to Kinley to get out of a jam early. Martin Perez threw an inning. And then you went Lee, Robert Suarez, Iglesias to close it out. But some clutch hitting in the 9th inning. Once again, Mike Yastrzemski coming through in this series. Big RBI double to give the Braves the lead. And then Mauricio Dubon, he comes up with clutch hit after clutch hit. He gets the big home run, 2-run home run to pad the lead as well and put this one away. Just a great game by this team. You just don't doubt them. You know they're in it late. They're going to come through and get the win, and it's a really fun feeling right now for the Braves and Braves fans. We'll recap this one over on the postcast for Locked On Braves.
And the Brewers hosted the Padres.
This is a gut punch. And look, like over a 162 game season, you're going to have these gut punches, right? You're going to have these moments where you think you got to win. You're at home. You know, there's a good opportunity to get in and get a win, and maybe the offense didn't show up enough for the Brewers. And again, lo and behold, runners in scoring position, sort of the offensive story for the Brewers, 1 for 10. 1 for 10 for the Brewers with runners in scoring position. They left 9 guys stranded on base. I mean, those are the things that you always go back and look. Okay, if they had 1-0, we're sitting here, we're celebrating. No doubt about it. You and I are sitting here celebrating, but then you're looking like, man, how'd you only get 1 run? You had 9 hits on the night. Padres only had 6. Like, where did it just fall apart for you? And it was the runners in scoring position once again for the Milwaukee Brewers, and just unable to get it done.
The Colorado Avalanche are back in the Western Conference Finals after roaring back in OT on Wednesday night. Locked On Avalanche host Zach Pearson reacted to Colorado's heroic performance and looked ahead to what's next.
Yeah, man, Avs win. This one's going to go down. Of the all-time great games in Avalanche history. I'm not going to rank it. I don't care right now where it lists or where it ranks. Just know that it will be talked about for eons.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, just an incredible come from behind win for the Avalanche. When things just seemed as bad as they could be to start this game, you saw it. Like, you saw, if you follow on social media and stuff like that, people are like, going to bed. This game's over. See you in Game 6 back in Minnesota. And I keep saying it on this show, man. Like, why do people continue to say that about this Colorado Avalanche team? Have you learned nothing? This team continually does this. These come from behind wins. They are never, ever out of it, especially in the playoffs. Fantastic game. Fantastic game.
Actually, I think even after Jack Drury scored, if you were watching along on Money Puck, it was something like a 93% chance for Minnesota to win this game. So I can kind of understand. And honestly, all the people who keep saying I'm going to bed, game over, and then the Avs make some miraculous comeback and win the game, keep going to bed. It helps. I don't know how. I don't know why, but it seems to help.
Right.
My goodness, though, because when you're down 3-0 at the end of the first, I'm not feeling great. Avs make the goaltending change. We'll get to all that because that was obviously key. But then in the second period, you play amazingly, so much better than the first, but you only come away with 1 goal, and you're still feeling like this is a tall task, especially with Wallstedt playing the way he did through this game and the series. So third period comes around, and you go through the first 15, 16 minutes without scoring. And you're starting to get to that crunch time where you're like, okay, you got to pull him soon. You got to really start thinking about this. And once Jack Drury scored, all of those feelings sort of dissolved. It started to feel a lot more like this can and should happen. And that Nathan McKinnon goal.
Yeah.
Let's just spend a second to talk about the position that he put that puck, because it was an absolute pinpoint shot.
Yeah.
I could take that shot 10,000 times and never make it.
Well, you know what it was? It's almost like those, who's those guys that put up those like TikTok videos, and they have like the easy shot and the hole is like pretty big, and then the mid-range shot is a little bit smaller, and then it's like impossible, and it's literally like the width of a hockey puck. And they're there, they show you the video edited down to 30 seconds. It takes them hours to get that one puck in. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
He had the width of a hockey puck to get that past Wallstedt, and he did.
Oh my gosh. And you knew too, once that one went in, once McKinnon scored that, even going to overtime, as long as the Avs put the pressure on, Wallstedt there's no way he wasn't rattled. So you just knew as long as you could keep that same pressure, you were going to find a way to beat him. Now, you didn't beat him on like a weird bounce or him being out of position. It was a beautiful play from Natchez over to Kulak. Right. But you just felt that way. Of course, they open up overtime with a 2-on-1 coming at Scott Wedgwood, and I thought that game was over right then.
I mean, if McCarron had a brain, like the game's over. Yeah. Game was over, and he whiffed on it.
Missed it
absolutely entirely. Whiffed on it. The Avs got a huge break there.
Yeah.
And they got a break on the Drury goal because that was following an icing. And there were Wild players out there for a little while. You know, those are never good. Never good. And I'm not saying, you know, that those guys were just dogging it on Minnesota, but they needed to win that draw. And they didn't. And then I don't know if I mean, you mentioned like Wallstead was maybe like, I don't remember what the term you use, but I don't.
He was really solid in this game.
Rattled is what you said. Yeah.
Rattled.
I don't know if I'd say rattled because like if I were him, like, okay, you got two past me that were tip-ins, like to start, right? The McKinnon one, that's just a superstar doing superstar things. But going into overtime is maybe where you're a little bit rattled because of, you know, he hasn't been there before. And I'm not saying Wedgwood has, but
stay up to date all year on the Colorado Avalanche by subscribing to Locked On Avalanche on your favorite podcast app. Coming up, is LeBron James really going to retire now? If you've ever opened your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills get overwhelming fast. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. It tracks all your subscriptions in one spot and can help cancel the ones you don't need. With just a few taps, it automatically categorizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Are out of the playoffs and another offseason of speculation begins for LeBron James. Locked On NBA hosts Matt Moore and Hayes discuss whether or not anybody actually thinks LeBron is going to hang it up this year.
Hayes, does anybody actually think LeBron is going to retire this year?
There probably is some. I can never say never, but LeBron's not. Like, if you think LeBron is going to retire on a sweep and this quiet, like LeBron is very aware of story, as like Matt has pointed out, the entirety of the season. He's not going to just ride off quietly into the sunset after a sweep. It's no way that happens.
So the Athletic post-series article dropped last night, and Dan Weike and Sam Amick reported in there that sources close to LeBron maintain that the idea of him wanting a farewell tour is something people have put on him, that it's not necessarily what he wants and he might just retire. To me, this is about, there's two things that LeBron has shaped in the course of his career. He's cared about the story and he's cared about the money, and he's cared about championships for sure, but he's already got those. And to me, the story is finishing in Cleveland, is finishing the story with the kid from Ohio that got drafted by the Cavs, won them their first championship. That's where it ends. The money is that there is just so much merchandise to be sold. And if I'm Nike, I am throwing so much money at him for him to do one tour that they could do this. The other thing I will say beyond the more cynical views of this, I hope he doesn't retire, because fans deserve the opportunity to send him off. He has meant a lot to this generation of basketball fans, good or bad. If you hated him, you grew to respect him. If you loved him, you went through all the trials and tribulations. Like, I think it is important for the basketball community to have the chance to show their appreciation and respect for the king on his way out.
Coming up, are the Spurs ready to shut the door on Anthony Edwards and the Wolves? So at least until tomorrow, stay locked on sports today.
Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.